addicts, welcome back to the American Girl Addiction. I've been wanting to do a video ranking / kind of reviewing, not super in depth, but kind of going over my thoughts on the American Girl beds that they've released for the named characters. So not the beds of the Truly Me line, just the ones that were attached to a specific character's collection. I have them all in roughly the order they came out. It's not exact, but I know Samantha, Kirsten, and Molly were first, and the Be Forevers were kind of sometime between Caroline and Mary Ellen, so I kind of lumped all of the Be Forever there. We'll kind of go over the categories. We have number 1, officially jealous. Basically, these are beds that I would love to have for myself. I'm kind of jealous that the doll gets such a nice bed. Then we have adorable, which are ones that are really cute, like as a doll bed, but they're not as good as the previous tier. Then we have good but lacking, and I couldn't think of the right way to say it, where basically it's cute, but compared to some of the other ones American Girl has had, it is a little lackluster. Could have been better. So these are ones where it's not just like, these are great, just not as good as the other ones. These are ones where specifically it's like, it's alright, but I have some criticisms or nitpicks. I kind of jokingly labeled this one level Be Forever, because I'm pretty confident none of the pre-Be Forever beds will be in there. So this is more indicating that as a whole, I feel like the Be Forever line skews more to looking modern and trying to have very bright colors, and it's not as historical. So I'll probably talk about that more when I'm discussing these beds, but that's why it kind of gets a category all on its own. Finally, we have cursed, and I'm not sure if any are going to be here, but these will be beds that I just really dislike. We are going to start with Samantha, and overall I would probably say I'm officially jealous of her bed. I mean, not officially. I've always been jealous of her bed. It's awesome. I love the brass, and it just looks so classy, and it matches her nightgown. And to my knowledge, it looks really good. Like, it really matches the historical era that Samantha is set in. So, this is a really good one. I'm probably going to put Kirsten. I might change it, but her bed for now is going to go in adorable. Especially because it didn't come to mind. I don't think it came with like its own official bedding. So it's kind of just what you see in the picture. And it is still, it's cute, it's beautiful, great quality. But compared to some of the other ones that just go above and beyond, I felt like, it kind of belongs one step below that. Probably going to say the same for Molly. It is just super, okay, it is super cute, but it is pretty basic compared to someone like, say, Felicity, who, her bed is just amazing. The pattern of the canopy isn't as cool, but I love the bedding. I love that it's a canopy bed, and I love how the drapes, I don't know what they're actually called, but how they can go and completely cover you in and block out all of the light. That is just really cool. So, yeah, her bed, awesome. Addie is a hard one. I'm probably going to put her in good but lacking. So, I understand for the time period, it totally matches, and I really like it. But compared to the other beds, it's just kind of the bare bones, which really works for her. I still really love it. Basically, if you're above red, it's a really good bed. I didn't even intend to rhyme there, but yeah. So Addie's is still good. I just think that some of the other ones are slightly more intricately designed. And Josefina is going to go up there. Don't really have much to say about that. And I don't know. I think the bedding, either it was originally sold with the bed or it was originally sold separately and they later sold it with the bed. Either way, it kind of flipped around. And I got Josefina's bed either last year or the year before that, I think. And it's super cute, great quality. And I like how the green complements the other colors of her collection. Kit is probably going to go. As much as I love Kit, it is the bare bones, especially without her bedding and stuff. And it is, metal. It's got kind of a thin mattress, which totally fits the time, again. But I don't think I would want to sleep there except for it to be like, oh, it's an exact replica of Kit's bed. Yeah, I'm going to give Kaya the slight edge over Addie. Because Kaya's is just a little more neat, even though there's less to the set. So Kaya's thing, awesome, fits the time period, fits the character. It just is really hard to justify ranking it above a bed as nice as the other ones we've seen. Elizabeth's is basically Felicity's, but with even prettier bedding, so naturally I'm jealous of it. Also blue, not that specific shade, but just in general. My favorite color, so this one is awesome. Julie's, I'm going to probably put right around here. There's fewer pillows. It does not, in some ways it does and doesn't look more comfortable than Molly's. So her and Molly's are probably tied. I like certain things about each of the other one more, but I'm giving the slight edge to Molly just because I personally like the more regal, simple look of her bed. Yeah, Mia's, I can't guarantee it, but it might be the best one on this list, even without the bedding. Mia's bed is awesome. It's one of, like, the crown jewels of my collection. I adore it. I really regret that I wasn't really getting into the girly years when Mia was out because I was so close to being able to have gotten all her stuff when she came out. But yeah, that's tangent. But Mia's bed, totally awesome. I love that it has a desk in addition to the bed, which doesn't look like it'd be that comfortable, but it's good enough. And it has its own little, like, storage area. I would have used it as a bookshelf. And it has a mirror. It just is fantastic. Yeah, I would want this bed in a heartbeat. Rebecca's, I'm going to put right here. So I guess actually Julie isn't tied with Molly. We kind of got Rebecca in there in a similar position. Rebecca's is beautiful. Actually, I don't know. I might change that later. But I know Rebecca's needs to go above most of them, but below Samantha's, because honestly, the only criticisms I have of Rebecca's bed is, one, the pink doesn't necessarily suit her. Two, it's actually surprisingly fancy for her family's, like, economic status, which maybe it's been ages since I've read the book. Maybe she shared it with her sisters, but and she probably shared it with Anna at some point. I'm pretty certain about that. But overall, I think my biggest issue with it is it doesn't stand out quite as much on its own. It definitely feels like they were trying to recreate the look of Samantha's bed as much as possible. And that, to me, just makes Rebecca feel more like a replacement for Samantha and less like her own character. Right. Oh my gosh. Right here, my personal feelings about the fact that this bed has technically been Marie Grace and Cecile's at some point while it was out. I'm not going to let that get in the way of the fact that it's a pretty cool bed. It's very thin. I don't imagine it would be super comfortable to sleep in, but for back then, it was good. Haven't really talked about the color scheme so far. I might go back and summarize stuff at the end. But I do like how it incorporated Marie Grace and Cecile's colors into it, and it really fits with their theming. And it's very well designed. Again, I just got it, and it is really well constructed. I just think that it's not as cool as some of the other beds. Mckenna's loft bed, probably right here. I love the color scheme. It fits perfectly with Mckenna, which it's kind of weird that Mckenna had so much purple stuff, but they gave her that aqua color, although at least it matched her me outfit. Otherwise, that would have been just weird. But yeah, Mckenna's bed, her loft bed, has so much cool stuff. I adore it. There isn't really much to say. I do think Elizabeth slightly edged it out. Just because Elizabeth has this like fancy factor to it that I'm just really into. Caroline's, I feel bad. I was all like, Julie's is awesome, and then I'm putting other. Okay, Julie's is slightly better than Caroline's bed. I do like how regal Caroline's bed is, but it's a lot thinner, and I feel like not as much time was put into making it as Julie's. It doesn't really match Caroline's color scheme at all, although I do appreciate the fact that it is completely different, even though it's still a canopy bed like Felicity and Elizabeth. Unlike with Rebecca's, I don't feel like they're deliberately trying to echo and remind people of the preceding doll's bed. Instead, I think that it matched the time period. It was very traditional. So, apart from like the color scheme and the fact that it's not as detailed as some of the others, it is still fantastic. Again, it's above the red, so it's doing really well. Okay, now we get to some of the Be Forever ones. And I'm going to put this one from Josefina and Could Have Been Better. If you're going... This just baffles me. So they basically took the same bed and made a different color and they sold it. And that just baffles me. The only reason I can think they did that is they thought white would be more cutesy and match more of the like poppy, trendy like colors of the Be Forever. And if you were going to take the same thing, like either give Josefina a completely new bed, at least in my opinion, or just keep her bed. You didn't have to change everything for Be Forever. What you had before was fine. So this could have been better if they had either been more original or just not made a new bed. I'm pretty certain the green one was first, right? Okay, I just checked. I should trust my instincts. Green one was definitely out first. So yeah, either American Girl, make it more original, or just keep the same thing. Alright, and when I left the window and it reloaded, it moved all of my little pictures around. So I'm just going to have to try to figure out, I think Samantha's was next. And I'm going to put that in the same category. If it was not Samantha's bed, this would have been fine. But obviously, the brass bed is superior. And this bed doesn't even look like, it looks way too modern. It looks like something you would get at like an Ashley Furniture or like a Pottery Barn or something. It just does not really look Victorian, and it might be, but I think part of it is the colors and just knowing how Be Forever did a lot of their things, where they made it really look like modern, nowadays people recreating stuff from the time period instead of like actually being similar to stuff from the time period. Could be wrong, but that's just my thoughts. Actually, I will give it a slight edge to Josefina's bed because it at least was new. It wasn't a ripoff. So I could at least, and Samantha had been retired fully, so I could understand them maybe not wanting to just reintroduce the brass bed or like just change that brass bed slightly. Now we're going to do Be Forever Kit. And yeah, I'm just going to put this here. Somehow it is this like candy color weird. I don't know. It's simultaneously. It has both the problems of the Samantha bed and the Josefina bed where it has these Be Forever bright tacky colors. But it's also just so similar to Kit's bed. So you're seeing a worse version of what you already had. And I don't see Kit liking I think there's pink in it. Yeah, there's a lot of pink there. And the flowers are bigger. And I don't see Kit wanting that bed. So that one just really matches that. Who's next for Be Forever? Oh, I skipped Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca is going here where they literally took her bed, maybe they didn't repaint it. I think they did though. They made it white, which looks less pretty. And then they have this weird bedspread that really just looks modern. It looks like a modern take of today. I do appreciate them trying to tie Rebecca's signature color of purple more into her design, like into the bed and everything. But honestly, again, either just change it completely or leave it as is. This just looks like you are trying to wring more money out of people by changing the bed. Who wanted this? Tell me in the comments who wanted this. The Molly bed, I'll at least give it this. It is unique. It's an interesting color. Honestly, I don't understand why you wouldn't make Molly's bed blue now that they didn't have a character with blue stuff at the time anymore. So they totally could have actually used Molly's signature color and made it look better with her pajamas. I mean, to me, that just makes much more sense. But at least the same for Samantha's bed and kind of Josefina's bed. If it was for a different doll who wasn't Molly, I would have a more positive opinion on it. Not much more. It would probably be right under Addie's. But because it's Molly's, it doesn't look like Molly at all. It just is that weird, like, the bright colors. And it's nothing Molly really owned was yellow. Even much in the Be Forever. So I'm just not impressed with that. Julie is in a similar position. I will at least give them the fact that it's not ugly and it still looks like the time period and like something the character would have. But why would you change it? You changed almost nothing and it doesn't match Julie. It matches Julie even less now, even though it still would work for her. She doesn't have much purple stuff, so they're making it like, I guess, more girly, making it less orange and putting in more of the purple and the yellow with still some orange. I'm just not a huge fan. I don't dislike it as much as the others, but it's definitely a disappointment. Then we're gonna have Mary Ellen's couch. And here's the thing. I'm very conflicted about this one because as a couch and as the idea of a sleeper sofa, I like it. It's neat. It does look 50s. It doesn't look like too saccharine sweet like some of the other Be Forever stuff. But in terms of it being the only Mary Ellen thing we have, why didn't we get like bunk beds? American Girl hadn't had bunk beds in a while, or anything even. Well, they had loft bed 3 years earlier, but I just think they would have made more money. I'm pretty certain, I know in the movie Mary Ellen had a bunk bed. I don't remember if she had it in the book, but I just think it's an interesting choice to sell this sofa, and they sold it for like a lot of money. I always kind of found it weird that Mary Ellen got like a lot of household stuff. Like she gets a refrigerator, she gets a diner, which isn't really household. I get the jukebox, but I don't know. It just seems kind of weird that a lot of the stuff she got wasn't really personal for her. Like this isn't her couch. It's probably the family's couch. I don't know. It's been a while since I read her book or watched her movie. So I'm going to put it over here where as a couch, it's purple. As a bed, it's like the yellowish, orangish, or pink. So I'm going to put it in the middle. I do like it, but I feel like Mary Ellen got, the raw end of a stick, which she actually got a lot. Melodies. Okay. I don't like that it doesn't have her color scheme really. It doesn't necessarily fit her. But honestly, it's really good. It's super adorable. I wish I had it. Not to like the officially jealous level, because it is really thin and the bedding is not as nice, but I love the shelves over the bed, like behind it as a headboard. That's pretty cool. Her quilt / blanket is very soft, so I like it. That's fine. Nanea's is probably gonna be here. Okay, it's not very well made. I'm surprised I didn't break it while putting it together. It fits her color scheme okay. Well, she's kind of got like an orangish, so it doesn't quite fit, but at least it looks tropical. It fits her theme. It kind of looks tacky in its, or not tacky, but it doesn't look as good in its folded position as it does when it's completely like folded out. So I do think they could have done something to make it, like, you can tell looking at it and just looking at these pictures, you can see the other legs right there that don't touch the floor, and I have some OCD tendencies, so it's like really aggravating. But I do, even though I'm complaining about it and nitpicking, I do really like it. I think it suits Nanea pretty well. And yeah, it's not the best bed Be Forever did. That would be Melodies, obviously. But it's pretty good. Alright. Gabriella's loft bed. I swear. Okay, it at least was for a different doll. But they basically, I'm pretty certain, I've looked at it, I'm fairly confident that they just added a back to Mckenna's loft bed. My point is they changed very few things. You see, you still have this shelf, like, it's got a base like Mckenna's with the little, like, desk there, and where the ladder's placed, and the way they shot the pictures even looks pretty similar. And honestly, 5 years later to come out with almost the same product for another doll just kind of further convinces me that Gabriella was not as thoroughly planned as other girl years. So it is pretty disappointing to see basically minor changes and a new paint job given to Mckenna's bed, and then Gabriella has it. Like, they could have at least put the ladder in a different place, or made it a different height or just done something. So, yeah, it's kind of in the same place as the Julie and Rebecca beds where I don't appreciate having a product that is just the other product but slightly different. Now we get to Courtney's bed, which is more like what they probably should have done for Mary Ellen, but at least Courtney gets this nice cool thing. It is one of the only beds that I don't have, the only historical bed that I don't have. Well, let's be real here. After how I bashed them, do you really think I bought like any of the Be Forever recreation beds? I might get them someday just because I'm a completionist, but I probably am not. But Courtney is the only, presuming one bed per character doll, she's the only historical I'm missing. And hers is really good. I'm gonna... kind of goes right there, I think. Yeah. It's way more expensive than it actually should be. It's pretty cute. I like the designs. It looks like something you'd see in like Stranger Things, very 80s. And I like the little plant right there. So, whoops, where'd it go? Oh no. I moved things around. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I do like Courtney's bed, but I'm not jealous of it. Kira's tent right here. So I'm conflicted because honestly, it kind of belongs right there below Courtney's, but the price is making me want to put it down pretty low because honestly, that thing should not be over $200. It's ridiculous. But I guess ignoring the price, it is adorable. I love that it's like a full-on tent. It's very original. It fits Kira's theme. We have like that little shelf thingy and the mirror and the little steps going up. So you are getting more than just a bed, but not much more. So apart from the price, it's really good. But yeah, the price is irritating. And then we have another stumper. Whoops. Okay. So as a set, this thing is fantastic. I am basically just waiting for extra reward points and certificates to get this thing. I adore it. As a bed, though, it's not as cool as some of the others. So I think I'm going to have to say it belongs right about here. Probably tied with Elizabeth, where the set elevates it to Officially Jealous. But the beds themselves aren't as nice as some of the others. Mckenna's might be over it. They're about tied. So yeah, hey, I was right. Nothing went in cursed. So American Girl did a pretty good job. Mia's is just iconic, legendary. It's awesome. I love Elizabeth's. Corinne's is great. I can't wait to get it. Obviously love Mckenna's, Felicity's, Samantha's. And then, yeah, these beds are just adorable. So looking over this, I think I stand by everything except I'm actually going to move Mary Ellen's couch a little higher in the same category. And I think and Kaya's is going to be right there. Okay, so I moved two of them. Marie Grace and Cecile's is going to be actually higher than Kaya because it is like a really nice bed. It might belong in Adorable, but I feel pretty confident where it goes just based on my little nitpicks. And then, yeah, Mary Ellen's couch is cute enough, and it actually had a reason that it should be made, unlike the Josephine and Molly beds. So, yeah.